I don't think I'm experienced when it comes to relationships. I was suicidal to the hospital. I would sing for 2 weeks.
Subscribe now.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Miracle Vincent Ryan.
Nice to meet you. So what do you do?
I'm a student, currently my final year. But what I do for work currently also is I'm a singer, songwriter, makeup artist, and I'm generally a creative. Anything on the creative space, you find me there.
People say that people who are jack of all trades are masters of none. Would you say that applies to you?
No. Because for me, if you look at it, they are all intertwined. Like I said, anything that has to do with being creative, telling stories. You can tell stories through songs, you can tell stories through art, you can tell stories through acting, storytelling and everything. For me, it is just all of that. Getting to share my side of stories, how to interpret roles and everything. So I can also inculcate that in my music. For me, it is not that. I think that one of the major issues creatives have is being a creative. You always have to be very, very authentic, right? I think that is one of the challenge, finding your niche to actually explore on. And another thing is visibility. You could be doing so well, but then your audience and then your target market, they've not even started seeing your content. It can really, really, really bring down a creative's morale to actually want to push. That's why I said that I don't think I've literally navigated it through yet. I'm still finding my balance. I'm still finding my way, but I know that I have what it takes to be out there and be me.
If you had the opportunity to have a sit down with a fellow creative like you, what would be the first advice you give to such a person, especially if they are up and coming?
One advice I would give is you have to be true to yourself. One of the things that many people do is lie to themselves. You have to be true to yourself. Why do you want this? Questions like that. You have to sit yourself down, ask, why do I actually want to do this? Am I doing this because it is what is giving people money, or do I actually really have passion for this thing? Or am I doing it because someone else is doing it and they are making it big? First advice, you have to be true to yourself. It has to be passion first. It has to be passion first. If you are sure that this is what you're going to do, and it also means that if it is really what you want to do, there is nothing any other person has to say. You are actually really going to go for what you want. It has to be what you really want to do, not because someone is telling you to do it. Because if someone is telling you to do it and you're going ahead to do it, someone else can talk you out of it, right? So it has to be really what you want to do.
When you were talking, you mentioned the fact that you are a student. Would you mind recounting an experience you've had as a student that you think is very unpleasant, and that whatever caused the situation could have been avoided? It was needless.
As a student, oh my God, I think that I speak for every Nigerian student when I say that the Nigerian educational sector is really stressful. I attend the National Open University of Nigeria studying, one of which I remember is in my 300 level, they changed our exam center. That was really stressful because having to come from the island to the mainland just to write an exam of 7 a.m. was really, really stressful. A lot of people got robbed that period. I think that if the school had maybe looked into it and maybe fixed what needed to be fixed, or because the school was under renovation, they had to move us down to the mainland. That is one of many countless stories from my school. The population is quite much. When we are writing exams, very, very choke, no ventilation, no proper air. It's a lot, countless stories, but in all, I'm really, really grateful to God, because I think that I don't think I would have had it any other way, so that I can actually tell my friends or tell my kids that I actually went through this. So you can't.
How old are you?
I'm not allowed to say that. I am.
What's the biggest mistake you think you've made in 2 years of existence?
It's hard because I've always been this reserved girl, and I'm very, very. I plan. I'm not a spontaneous person with money, with relationships. I'm not spontaneous. I really like to plan. One of the biggest mistakes I think I have made, not speaking up when I'm supposed to, because I think that it's a should I call it let me call it what it is. It's a bad behavior. It's a bad character. I don't speak out until I've had it up to here, and then when I speak, it's now like overboard because it's coming from a place of hurt and everything. Something I'm learning to come out of. I don't know if it makes any sense.
What's the most traumatic experience you've had as a person?
Most traumatic experience I've had as a person. There are two at the top of my head now. There are probably more, but I think it's not traumatic if you cannot really remember it. The first one was when my mom almost died, and I'm the only girl, by the way, last child of my parents. So I was the only one in the house. Started working at a very young age, so I was the only one in the house at the moment, and my life literally flashed in front of me. Am I really going to lose my mom? And I was just 17 then, having to rush my mom to the hospital. I don't want to have to experience that ever again. That was traumatic. And then the other one was when I got heartbroken. It was traumatic. I cried. It was a lot. It was really traumatic.
Have you ever broken somebody's heart?
No, I'm a good girl. Never. I've only dated once, and I don't think I've ever broken someone's heart.
So recount your heartbreak. Have you healed from it? That's a much more important question to ask.
Have I healed from it? I think I have. It was hurtful because as a young girl, I don't think I'm like that experienced when it comes to relationships, because like I said, I've only been in one, and that is because I take my time. Like I said, even with relationships, I actually thought that was it for me. I thought that was the one, and when it happened, we were both hurt, right? I think I've healed from it. I think that if I see him now, I don't think I would feel any detest or anger, or it's all love from here. Christ love.
Tell me 3 lessons you learned from your previous relationship. 3 lessons you've learned from it.
My God, this is really a hot seat. 3 lessons I learned. I know that one of the things I'm not so good at is being patient. I think I learned to be patient from him. And I also learned to give. He was a giver. I learned to give. I learned to love. I'm not a bad person, yeah, but I learned to love more. My friends are also like that. They make me better.
Tell me one thing you think, if you start to do it today and you do it for the next 90 days, your life would be greatly improved. You know where you are at emotionally, you know where you are at when it comes to having intellectual conversations and being an intelligent person. You know where you are at when it comes to spirituality for whatever religion it is you practice, right? What's one thing you think, if you start to do it now, it's going to cut across all aspects or ramifications of your life, and it will make you a much better person? It could be one thing, it could be 2 things, but the point is, have you identified it? And if you have identified it, what are these things?
I think one of the things people don't really know about me is that I really love to talk. And I think that if I put out content where I talk, I tell stories, authentic stories, and also push out my content for the next 90 days, or maybe get into a movie set, a production set where I get to show the things I'm actually very capable of as a creative. I think that would change every ramification of my life. And then spiritually, just tell people about God. Go out there, be unapologetic about Jesus, telling people how the love of God has literally changed my life. For the next 90 days, I genuinely think that
if you were to break the Guinness World Record like Hilda Baci and some of these other names that we know, what's that one thing you would do to break the record?
I don't know. I would sing for 2 weeks. Non-stop. I'll sing. Of course, there are going to be breaks, but right now, the thing I'm like really confident in doing is singing. I would sing. If I'm not singing, I'm acting. An actor, storyteller.
In your lowest moments in life, what has held you together?
God. I really had it tough this year because I had a health issue that really affected my voice. So I was suicidal. Yes. I think that was in March. I was suicidal, went to the hospital. I know that I'm definitely going to tell a story about this one day. It was a lot. It was so much. When something you've done all your life and all of a sudden you just couldn't do it because you were in pain. For every singer, your voice, your vocal cord is literally your life, right? And then I had issues. I'm better now though. I thought my world was coming to an end. I thought like the world was crashing down on me. Fun fact, yeah, it was when that stuff happened to me, I decided to go learn makeup because I just needed something that would remind me of having to create something, having to be a part of something that is like very, very creative and what could like be a blessing to other people's life. Right now I see an idiom, how can I make her more beautiful? With music is how can I make her feel or him feel uplifted and everything. That's why I said that you can actually be a jack of all trade and you can actually be a master of all of them. It's God. For me, it's always been Jesus. Teenage years, Jesus. Right now, Jesus. Forever, Jesus. And I am very, very unapologetic about it.
You mentioned how you were suicidal. You care to share how you got out of that. What were the things that were running through your mind at the point where you were suicidal? What were the thoughts that were running through your head? Did you reach out to your support system? Were there people who were there for you? Did you push back on them? What would you say is one advice you'd give to anybody out there who's suicidal?
I am a very reserved person and I don't talk. I talk a lot when I'm very comfortable around someone, but when I am not, I'm very, very much into myself. I have friends, but when it happened, of course I have colleagues that we normally work together and everything, and when it happened, having to see them do what I normally would do, or maybe call someone else to do what I normally would do, and I've had a lot of recommendations on my part because I'm like very, very good at my craft here. When it happened, it wasn't like a conscious thing. I just went back into my shell. I left social media. I stopped speaking everybody's call, including my mom's call. Like I was just done. You're asking what was going through my head. At that point, it was like nobody would actually really understand. They would only come to you because they want you to feel better, but because they are not feeling what you're feeling, they don't really know how to actually comfort you. That's how I felt, and I actually did push people away. And so what really held me back then, sincerely, I'm not even minding words right now. It's just the fact that I've always loved God and I've always loved His word. It was always going back to God and telling God that you actually literally have to help me, which is one of the things He now helped me with, the makeup and everything. Of course, I know that I talked to my friends, two of my friends that I can categorically tell you, I cried to them and they were very helpful, but trust me, I don't think that it was those conversations that really helped me. It was God. It was God. At a point, I wanted to stop church. Because I felt like God let this happen to me and it wasn't yet time, and I felt like I had because I literally had a lot of things I wanted to do this year, but he still was the one that brought me out. One advice I think I would give is, if you feel suicidal or you feel like the whole world is crashing down on you and you're not moving, you feel stagnant, because that's the feeling. You just feel like you're at a spot, you're not moving and you need saving. That's the word. I think that the only person that can literally save you is God. And if you have someone that you can like really, really confide in, I think you should also do that, because it took me a while to be able to open up to people, right? But I think if I had done that earlier, I wouldn't have gotten to the point where it was that bad, because countless nights I slept in tears, in my pool of tears, asking God questions and everything. But at the end of the day, sincerely, the only person that can really comfort you, He said that He's a comfort to those that mourn, right? He's God. It is God. It is God. It is God.
What's your biggest achievement?
My biggest achievement, there are a number of them.
What tops all of it?
The fact that I'm finishing school. I'm very, very excited because As a child, because of my family issues, I did not finish secondary school. If somebody had told me then, when I registered for school, that I was going to do that when I did and still leave school at this age, I don't have believed. The fact that God saw me through school, paid my fees and everything. I've always been looking forward to being a graduate. I'm super excited. Words do not even cut it. Aside that, I have a single, I have a song out, so that's another very big achievement. I had a live recording last year. I'm just grateful to God, like all these things, and I know that there is like literally more to come. This is literally just the beginning, but those are the two things I'm really grateful to God for.
And do you consider them biggest achievements?
I consider them big achievements, like very big ones, trust me.
Thank you for sharing your story and your experience with us.
Thank you too for having me.
Subscribe now.